Hello and welcome. Wait, get off of there. Good morning and welcome to Live in the Studio with Pentart. I am your host today. I'm Shannon, and we are going to talk about the cracking paste. The cracking paste is a really exceptional product if you want thick, deep 3D cracks. So you can control how big the cracks are or how small the cracks are. We're going to talk about that today. Now, if you notice, I'm coming to you with a different format. Normally, I am vertical. Today, we're going to be horizontal. We're just going to test it, and you're going to let me know which way you like to watch these better. Before we get started, though, with the cracking paste, I do want to check back. Last week, we did the fine line crackle, and we tested the transfers. Now, there was some conclusive evidence of things to do and not do. I'm going to tell you what those are. If you didn't catch it, if you didn't see the replay, I'm going to tell you what those are. But real quick, I want to see if we have any. I don't know how to do the comments on YouTube, but normally they come up. So I have YouTube comments over here, and then, hey, Joanne, and I have Facebook over here. So, I don't know. We'll circle back to that one. Michigan, oh my goodness, you're going to be getting some crazy weather too. We're going to be getting some crazy weather. First it was snow, and then it was ice, and now it's just ice. I don't know. We're just getting ready for everything. A lot of us are going to do that. Okay, so let me bring down my screen. Boop. All right, so with this camera angle, you can see I've got a lot more room to cover, but I'm going to zoom in. And I'm going to organize these the way that we talked about them last week. So this one is still holding together. Oh boy, we got a funny here. Cracking paste, cracking plaster, crackle, all kinds. What a choice. I love cracking plaster, but sometimes it's just too much for small pot. Yes, absolutely. And I will say that the cracking plaster is very similar to cracking paste. Cracking plaster is for walls. Cracking paste is for projects. But to me, they're very, very close. All right. And then here's another one, the transfer. And on the back, I wrote everything down. So these two are still holding firm. The transfer, that's not coming up anywhere. Nothing's loose. And these are both the ones that were put on with unsealed paint. And then the fine line was put over the transferred unsealed. That's probably the key. Now these two over here, where is it? So this came up right here, and it's still coming up. You can see it right there. Transfer coming up, all the goodness, the fine line crackles coming up. And where is it here? It was lifting. Oh, here it is. See, it's just not sticking. See that big gaping hole there? And that is, these were both sealed. What I mean by sealed, I painted, then I sealed, put the transfer on, sealed the transfer, and then put the fine line on. But I will say, what I did do, I even marked it on the back. I did half with solvent base sealer, half water-based sealer. And for right now, the water-based sealer is hanging, whoops, this side. Yep. The water-based on both sides is hanging tough. It's hanging good. It's the solvent side that's coming off. But we're going to keep monitoring those over the next mutts. Ooh. So this is what we talked about last week. Here is one of the final projects, the bunny, and this one has the fine line with the silver mica. Look at that, how beautiful that is. So we're going to use the same boards today because why not? But before we get started, I just want to show you what the cracking paste is all about. So the cracking paste, you can create these big, thick, chippy cracks. And if you don't seal it right away, some of these cracks will come off. Isn't it? Thanks, Carolyn. I also want to show you this one real quick. This is an example of if you put it on really thick or if you put it on a little thinner. This over here, really thick, because these cracks are really, let me see, you can't really see it. Really thick here. This one I applied by going up and down, so there's some peaks there, and then this was very, very thin. Now, all of this is in a Pentart playbook, and I'm going to be sharing more information about that with you later. I just want to kind of show you. Now, look at this one. This was just a project board. I wanted to test if you could put a paint inlay over the cracking paste, and yes, you can, but look at those deep, deep cracks. So you can control the cracking, and we're going to talk about that right now. So without any further ado, I just want to explain the product. Cracking paste comes in both white and black. Hello from Alabama. Hello, Brenda from Texas. Okay, we've got a wide selection of states here. These are the basic ones. So there's white and there's black, and you can tint these, but keep in mind that this is a white base. You're not going to get, like if I was to use the pigment paste, put the red in here, it wouldn't be bright red because it's a white base. So it'd be more pinkish, but you can tint it. But something fun. Look at this. They have something called Cracking Paste Metallic, and it comes in a few more colors in this. These were just two colors that I had handy. There's rose gold and some other colors. So there is a wide variety of colors. Ooh, and we got Quebec, Canada in the house. Nice. So we're going to demo a little bit of both of these. What I do want to explain real quick, here it is. It rolled away. Most of the Pentart cracking systems come with two parts. They come bundled together. Keep in mind that this one does not. I don't know why they don't. You have to buy them separate. So they have something that's called, oops, let me get it here, the Cracking Paste Primer. And it goes with cracking paste. So they have to be used together. It's a two-part system. Some reason they're sold individually. I don't know why. But just so you know, so if you buy any of the cracking paste, make sure you have a jar of the cracking paste primer, or of course you can use any of the component ones. Let's see. Do I have? I don't. Okay. So we're going to put this to the side. What I want to do is I want to show you. We're going to do it just like we did with the fine line. We're going to do it step by step by step. And I already have everything primed and ready to go. So there is no downtime. We don't have to wait for the dryer to dry and all that other stuff. So let's zoom out just a little bit. There we go. So the cracking paste primer looks just like the other component ones because it's basically the same formula. All you do, see how thick it is we're just going to spread it on the area that we want to crack. If we don't want to crack the whole entire frame of this, I would only just put it in certain areas, but I do want to crack the whole entire outline frame of this. I think it has a nice look to it. So you just simply put it on the area you want to crack. Keep in mind, You don't want to overwork it. You just want to make sure it's on. It's water-based. It does not have a bad smell. And there you have it. So after you put component 1 on, you simply set it to the side and you patiently wait for it to dry. So I'm going to stick this over here. Now, look at this. We have one that's ready to go. Now, on this board from last week, I still have component 1 on here. And then the outside this morning, I put the component 1 out here. So we're going to play with both of these. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to put the cracking paste. This is metallic. We're going to do this one. And then around here, just in certain areas, we're probably just going to play with some of the white and give it some texture. Okay, here's a little question. The cracking primer for cracking paste. Is it the same as primer 1 used for all the other? Yes, ma'am, it is. You are so smart. It's all the same formula, but sometimes people like to have matching sets. This is the same thing as cracking primer universal. All right, so here is the paste, and this is just a beautiful color. You can already see it over here drying. It's dry. We're going to play with that in a second. I'm going to show you how to fill the cracks in. So what you do is you can either use a palette knife, you can use a squeegee. You can put it on any way you want to, but look at this. So see, isn't that beautiful? Look at that color and that sheen. And all you're going to do, hey, Megan, all you're going to do, oh, Megan, if you want to pop on and say hello, just let me know, and you can use that same link. Just let me know. And what we're going to do is we're just going to take it, and we're just going to spoosh it, smush it, spread it over the outside. Now keep in mind, if you put it on really thick, A, it's going to take a little bit longer to dry, but B, you're going to get massive, giant, beautiful cracks. Hey, Chris. So let's just keep going. Now at the end of this little live, I'm going to do a question and answer session. So if you have any questions on any of the Pentart, save them for the end, and I will help you. And if for some reason I don't know it, somebody will get you the answer for sure. Whoopsies. And I could have chosen to use a smaller palette knife, which may have been a little easier, but I like the big one. Now, I will say, when you're using this, oh, I want some of this color, right? It's so beautiful. There's a lot of different colors. I think linked in here is the Pentart page. If you just put in the little search bar, cracking paste, they should all come up. But this one is specifically called cracking paste metallic. Look at that. So you can, I'm going to put it on and then we're going to actually play with it. Just so I want to show you how you can manipulate it to get a different look. Though this one won't technically be dry during this live because it's going to take a while because I'm putting it on thick. I'll share pictures. Look at that. It is just so much fun. Now, I highly recommend that when you're doing this, if you have blurbs or piles on the side, you want to get those off while the paste is still wet, and then you can just put it back in the jar. So I'm just going to go around, get all my extra, save all this goodness. All the way around. Now, I'm just going to do one final kind of, oops. Because I pushed up a certain area here, I want to just kind of, let me go this way. So again, guys, I'm doing it horizontally this time. You're going to have to let me know if you like this format better, if you like it vertically, because normally I've been doing it vertically, but today we're going horizontal. So, crackle paste in colors, yes, only the metallic. All right, so you can take your palette knife and you can actually go up and down. I'll zoom in on this so you can see. And you can do, well, now watch this. Oops, whoopsies. So when I bring it up to the camera, see that little texture? There's a little bit of a design. That'll crack if you want to leave it like that. I don't want to leave it like that, but I just wanted to show you. So if you're playing with it and you don't like the way it looks, boop, just right over it. If you want certain areas to be thicker than, thicker than other areas, just take another section of it and just put it on a little thicker in certain areas. It will crack, and it will crack thick. So I'm going to put it in just a couple areas really thick so you can see it. I'll post it tomorrow when they all dry. And then one more thick section over here. There we go. All right. So now we wait. One quick tip. This paste you do not want to wash down your sink. Take your baby wipe, take a paper towel, wipe it all off really good. That way you don't clog your sink. Because over time, all the different pastes, all the different paints, everything can add up and can clog your sink. So immediately put the cap back on. All right. Oh, wait. You know, I do want to show you one more thing with this one. Because I still have component 1 from the fine line on here, I got to be careful not to put my... We're going to just test it. We're going to make sure that the component 1 are all the same. We're going to take some of this. And we're going to just put a little bit of the white on. Look at the white. And we're just going to put it, I don't have any of the component 1 up here, so we're not going to add it there. Well, I have some here, so I'm just going to do a little bit just to show. Now, I do want to demonstrate one thing here. As I'm putting this on, I can feel a crunchy here. That is because what happens when you leave this top off, a couple times I've done a live, and I forgot to put the cap back on. So what happens is the area around here will get hard and crusty, and then you'll get like these little bumps. So then when you go to smooth it out, it'll drag, and then there'll be a hard crunch. So what I recommend is take a little bit off, close it up, and then you won't have to worry about that. You can put them out on a paper plate because you can always put it back. So learn from my mistakes. I'm going to put it on thin and thick. Need to get some of this off here. I got too much. I'm trying to avoid this area so I don't smush it. So I'm just going to take a little bit off here and turn it back sideways. Drag a little bit of it up. What you don't want to see is any kind of stroke that shows you what kind of tool you used. So I'm just going to put some haphazardly through here. And it might look like a hot mess right now, but wait till you see when it dries. The look is just amazing. And even though I do have the crackle underneath everywhere, you don't have to apply it everywhere. So we're going to let this dry, and then tomorrow I'm going to show you what that's going to look like. I need to brush some more up here. There we go. I want to get it into there. Oh, and you could already see it's already starting to crack right here. What we can do is we're going to come in with probably some waxes and stuff, and we're going to decorate that. But for now, this is all wet, and we're going to let it dry. So I'll stick that over here. Ooh, I like that one. Okay. Now look, I have one that is totally dry and ready to go. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit more. So I already have the fine line crackle decorated because we did that last week. What I want to do is I want to show you these cracks. Let's get these up. It's really hard to capture my camera angle. I'm sorry. Oh, you know what I can do? I forgot. Let's do this. I have my little handy dandy. Look at those cracks. So this was the cracking paste I put on this morning. This is the metallic blue. So you're going to notice there's some little cracks, but as we get up here, I put on a little thicker, and you can see some bigger cracks. I'm just going to take you up a little bit further because it is amazing. Look at these cracks. Oops, I should be doing it this way. I'm sorry. I'm not used to going live this way. There we go. Look at how beautiful those are. This is the metallic. Big cracks, little cracks. It all depends on how you put it on. Thin, thick. And then, of course, we can't forget the fine line. Of course, we got the Ring camera, but look at that beautiful fine line. All right, let's go back to this view. So now what we're going to do is we're going to decorate. Oops. We're going to decorate these cracks. Now, you can decorate them several ways, but we might as well go ahead and use what we're supposed to use, which is the antique paste, right? Antique paste, Umbra. Do we have to? Absolutely not. I purposely left the white underneath because I wanted you to see that whatever color you put underneath will show through on your cracks. Maybe you want to put some, I'm going to take these off, some antique paste in there to show some antique. Do you have to put it everywhere? No. We're going to take this little stencil brush. This should work okay. And I'm just going to kind of stick it in the cracks here, covering the white, pushing it down. Well, it's not necessarily covering the white, it's tinting the white. So let me get my little cloth here. I'm going to wipe it back. Yeah, it's really hard to see. I'm going to do this. Ta-da! So look at that. So if you want an aged, crackled look, just throw some Umbra, some of this in there. Boop. Isn't that just beautiful? So you can either do it with the dark, or, let's come down here, you can leave it with the white, depending on what look you want. I love this, so we're going to go ahead and do it to the rest of it. I like to use these stencil brushes because it really gets into, you can really push it down and push it into the cracks. Here we go. We have a question. Del Rey. I let it dry naturally. Whenever I can, I let it dry naturally because it just looks better than when it's forced. But yes, you can absolutely take a heat gun to it. I had these, I like to have my boards pre-made, so I can take you along without having to use the dryer. Ooh. And what's really nice is, especially, you know, true antiques or true vintage, the cracks are not even. They are all different sizes and depths and everything. So that's what's nice about this. You can just have fun and create different size cracks. Now I am using a baby wipe because what that does is that helps keep the color of the cracking paste, yet leaving the Umbra antique wax in the cracks. Now, if I were to push too hard, I would absolutely take the antique paste out. I'm just making sure I'm trying to keep it as even as possible. Doris, you do not need to seal this because this is already sealed. Oh, I take that back. You don't need to seal this, but you do need to seal the cracking paste because what happens if you don't seal it, the cracks these can come off. And some people do like that look. Like I've done a project before and I'll have a reel for you. I did it on furniture. I've done all this on furniture. When the Pentart first came out, I was slapping it on all kinds of furniture. But you definitely want to seal it. So I could have sealed it first. I'll seal it after the wax dries. It's probably easier to seal it and then put the antique paste on because you don't really have to seal this. But either way, yes, you should seal it. Look at that. But isn't that just beautiful? Ah! Now, you can leave it like this, or you can obviously decorate a little bit with the wax paste. And you can just take it. The wax paste is for the edges. And you can decorate. If you want to put a little bit on your edges. Is it needed? No. Does it add to it? Absolutely. I'm one of those like more. I'm a layer girl. I'm just going to hit all these edges real quick. So in the cracks, I use antique paste. Antique paste. On the little logo, it shows you pictures of cracks. That is your cheat code to know where it goes. I remember when I first started with Pentart, I'm like antique paste, wax paste, and they look like they do the same thing. They look like they're made the same, but they're not. And then the wax paste is for the edges, the peaks, and the antique paste is for the valleys. It shows you right on the label. All right. So look at how beautiful that is. And if I wanted to, I can take another layer and I could do that. But I'm going to leave it like this because I really, really like this look. This is beautiful. I'm going to have to post picture of this book or of this bunny. All right. To buy, order from you or directly from Pentart. Do directly from Pentart. I do probably have some of this in stock, but I'm switching from... Either way, you can order from me or from Pentart, whatever you feel. I do have some stock left. All right, let me just show you. What did I want to show you? Oh, here we go. I have this cute little fox. Let's go ahead and let's zoom in. Okay, so this was one that we did when we did the one component crackle. I showed you that you could put crackle and then decoupage over it, and you can see the different looks. You can see some of it here and here. What I did was this morning, if you look really careful right here, you can see that line. I put a little bit of component one there because I want to show you that you can just put the cracking paste in a few areas. It doesn't have to go everywhere. Let's see. I'm going to use this, even though it's a little dirty. Wait, it's coming off. And I'm going to put it on super, well, pretty thin. What this is going to do, it's going to kind of make it look like a little cracked path. Because when this dries, I'll be able to paint it. So you can definitely just put it in certain areas. That was the black looks like. The black dries beautiful. All right, there's one more thing that I want to show you. Now this is fun. And you can definitely do this. So what I did was I put component 1 on, or I put basically the cracking primer on first over the paint. Then I ran the cracking paste through a stencil. This is a brick stencil because sometimes bricks, they're cracked, right? So this is going to give it a whole different look. So now I can just come over here. I can paint it to look like brick. Like I can come in and I can use some of my, let's just do this real quick. This is the antiquing gel. This stuff is amazing too. I love the antiquing gel. What's nice about the antiquing gel is when you put it on, you're still going to be able to see the paint underneath. So it kind of looks like the brick. So you're going to see a little bit of cracks here too. And you can take and you can kind of wipe it back if you want. Heavier or lighter in one area or another. But look at that. So you have cracks right in your brick. So talk about authentic looking bricks, right? All right. Well, let me go to me. So that is the cracking paste. How much fun is that product, right? Not only does it come in black and white, it comes in some metallic colors. Now I'm going to open it up for any kind of questions on Pentart. Any Pentart related questions? Anybody? Let's see how. Oh, I went longer than I normally do today. Anybody? Let's see. I can't see anything on. For some reason, I don't know why I can't see the comments on YouTube. Let me see. I don't know. If I catch the YouTube comments, I'll answer them. I don't know why they're not showing up, but I can see Facebook. Thank you, Carolyn. I think it's lovely too. The cracking paste is just, it just will take your project to the next level. Let me show you. Whoops. Ta-da! Obviously, you don't have to use a brown. You know, think of whatever color brick is. Another thing that would be really cool is to run it through like a stone stencil, but you can do it through anything. So you can run it through a stencil, you can brush it on, you can palette knife it on, put on as thick or as thin as you want. All right, well, I guess if we don't have any questions, we'll wrap it up. Next week, we're going to be talking about, it's the last week for Crackle, and we're going to be talking about the cracking paint system. That's going to be fun. Okay, guys. Have a fabulous day, and if you have any questions, drop it in here. I'll see it, and I will get an answer right at